Hi guys. So I have another scripture. I need to quit saying that I have another scripture because clearly I'm coming here to disperse scriptures. Wait. See. I think you're beautiful. The scripture for today is Proverbs 25:13, and I am reading from the NASB version of the Bible. And it reads, like the cold of snow in the time of harvest is a faithful messenger to those who send him, for he refreshes the soul of his masters. And I'm going to break this a little bit down, just a little, not a whole complete mental breakdown. But I am going to break this down into a couple of sections. So the first section on this is the very first part, which would be A, in parentheses, like the cold of snow in the time of harvest. Spiritual harvest time is a very strenuous time for the members and those who are trying to get souls back to Jesus, because that is when the actual real work happens. Harvest time is when you weed through, is when you pluck, is when you bushel everything together, put the good, separate the wheat from the tare, and begin the work of keeping what you have dug out of the ground fresh, because it's important to note that once it's time to pull something out of its natural habitat, and once we actually do that, it immediately begins to die. Once harvest time hits, we have to figure out a way to preserve the splendor of the believer. And we have to understand that at the very moment that we pluck that soul out of the world, they begin to die. They begin to see things a little bit different because they're pulling out, they're going to God, and then they notice things. They notice things that that was Sanaja's phone. They notice things that they don't like, and they think that everybody else is wrong, but it's basically them getting that new set of eyes, that Jesus vision, that everybody has, and they begin to die because then the pressures of being who they used to be hones in on them, and they wish they could be who they used to be. And so that time for us as spiritual leaders, that is the time that we actually do the work. That is the time that we intercede for deliverance. That is the time that we intercede for healing. That's when we have to do the real work, and it's hard and it's strenuous. People are going to get on your nerves, and you're still going to have to intercede for them. You're still going to have to seek healing for them. You still have to seek deliverance for them. And a lot of people fall off on that front because it is hard. It's very difficult. In gardening and in crops and things like that, when you know winter is coming, you know that it's almost time to stop. It's almost time to end. So it's like a relief. It's like, and so that's how it correlates with is a faithful messenger to those who send them, because when they go and they're obedient to the word of the person who sent them, and when they are on the path, and the exact path that the person who sent them told them to go on, and they give the exact message and no variants of the message. They don't put it in their own words to manipulate people. They're not sending the word out so that people can follow them. It's just a huge sigh of relief. For me, for instance, I'm a parent. So if I send a child upstairs to get another child for whatever reason, and my child comes down scared thinking that it's about to go down, I will not be bullied by that. I know that messenger did not relay the message as I told them to. Imagine sending somebody with a message from God, and they actually relay the message. They take the exact path that you need them to take, and they relay the message with pristine precision and do not go sideways from the word. It's a huge relief, right? And then for the third part, which would be C, he refreshes the soul of his masters. And this is a point for those who are underneath leaders, and for leaders in themselves. Like, as the leader, it feels really good to know that one of your disciples did exactly what you asked them to do. It feels good because you have a leader who is entrusted with a message from God, and you really just want that message from God to be relayed. And when you put that into somebody else's hands, number one, it takes a lot of trust as a leader to actually do that. But then when they actually do it and you're like, oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you. And they do it like perfectly. It's excellent. And so that also gives us an example of what we should be, what is a characteristic of what our faith should be for God, and the words that he gives us to relay to people, the messages, the purpose that he has given us on this earth. You know, when we fulfill the purpose that God has instilled in us, when we do exactly what God needs us to do, he's like, whew. And that was our scripture for today, you guys. Again, Proverbs 25:13. Like the cold of snow in the time of harvest is a faithful messenger to those who sends him, for he refreshes the soul of his masters. And that was it, you guys. Bye. Okay.